This video will explain the Annotated Bibliography assignment. An in-depth instruction sheet is available on Blackboard, so please be sure to read the document thoroughly. The Annotated Bibliography is worth 20% of your final grade, but it's broken up into two parts. Part 1 is an Annotated Bibliography entry of one source, and it's worth 5% of your final grade. Part 2 is 3 Annotated Bibliography entries for 3 additional sources, and it's worth 15% of your final grade. The Annotated Bibliography is broken up into two parts so that you can receive feedback on the first source before completing the rest. Receiving the teacher's feedback for Part 1 and applying the teacher's recommendations to Part 2 will help you to be successful. Part 1 is due at the end of Week 6. Part 2 is due at the end of Week 7. In other words, it is due at the end of intersession week. To submit, 2 separate submission boxes will be available on Blackboard for you to submit Part 1 and Part 2 as Word or PDF documents. Let's take a look at how the Annotated Bibliography connects to the arc of the course, and more specifically, the semester-long research project, which is the argumentative research essay. By this point, you've selected your topic for the argumentative research essay, and you understand that this is a broad topic that you're working with throughout the semester. At this point, you're currently working on the Up for Debate, the newsletter assignment, with your classmates, which asks you to engage in preliminary research to find out the multiple perspectives that make up the big picture around your essay topic or contentious issue. Once you have a general sense, the big picture of your contentious issue, you'll be asked to narrow down your topic and formulate a focused and specific research question. This is a research question that you will answer in the argumentative research essay. Once you formulate a research question, you're going to start looking for reliable sources that will help you answer your research question. The Annotated Bibliography invites us to engage in our research early on and to look for a total of 4 current, relevant, and reliable sources that may help us with our argumentative research essay. You might find out that they're not reliable or valuable later on, but that's the purpose of the Annotated Bibliography, to cite, summarize, and determine the reliability and relevance of the source. Each source requires one Annotated Bibliography entry, which includes the following. Number 1, full APA reference. Usually references are provided at the end of your work. However, the Annotated Bibliography is unique because it requires you to start with your reference. Please check the appropriate module on how to cite in APA style. Number 2, a 200-word formal summary paragraph. The summary paragraph asks you to sum up the entire text. There's a specific structure that you must follow, which is provided in the learning module. Number 3, a 200-word formal critical response paragraph, which asks you to answer both of the following questions. Question A, to what extent is a source reliable? For this question, you'll want to consider the author's point of view or authority, level of bias, use of language, use of support or evidence, and/or use of rhetorical strategies, including logos, pathos, and ethos. Be sure to provide specific examples from the text to explain your answer. Question B, to what extent is the source relevant and valuable to your research? For this question, you'll want to consider how the source changed your views, what you learned from the source, how the source's conclusions impact your research, and/or how you plan to use the source in your essay. Be sure to provide specific examples from the text to explain your answer. This third component of the Annotated Bibliography is asking you to determine the reliability and relevance of the source. The formal 2-part critical response paragraph also follows a specific structure that you must follow, which is provided in the learning module. An example of one completed Annotated Bibliography entry is provided on Blackboard. To clarify, Part 1 asks for one source, and therefore it will be one Annotated Bibliography entry. Part 2 asks for 3 additional sources, and therefore it will require 3 Annotated Bibliography entries. In other words, Part 2 requires 3 of the entries. Please note as well that the first source for Part 1 must be a research-based essay. However, the 3 additional sources in Part 2 can be research-based essays, podcast episodes, documentaries, first-person personal essays, scholarly articles, and more. You can find a detailed instruction sheet and rubric on Blackboard in the Assignment and Submissions folder.